So awesome. This video is brought to you by all my Patreon supporters. Go Team Awesome! Dubbed the Akihabara Massacre, this vicious crime took place in the popular and crowded shopping district of Akihabara in Japan. This area that is popular amongst Japanese and tourists from around the world has thousands of people strolling the streets shopping for anime and electronic goods. The killer chose Sunday, which happens to be the day that the main streets are closed to vehicle traffic and instead open to pedestrians who fill the streets. When all was said and done, Tomohiro KATO had either hit or stabbed 17 people in 2 minutes. Why did he decide to drive his truck into a crowd of people who were enjoying a Sunday afternoon shopping? Who were the victims, and how did police capture him before he could kill again? This is the story of the Akihabara Massacre. Tomohiro KATO, born in Aomori, North Japan in 1982, was part of a typical middle-class family and was well educated and a good student. He was usually at the top of his class in elementary and junior high school and was even the captain of the tennis club in school. However, all that seemed to change when he entered an elite high school in his town, Aomori High School. At this school, the pressure to keep his grades up and to keep his parents satisfied started taking a toll. A former classmate of Kato told reporters his class rank slipped to around 300 among 360. And a teacher of his also recalled, he wasn't outstanding in studies or extracurricular activities at all. He was really a mediocre student. Later, Kato would tell police and courts that he was abused as a child and extreme pressure was put on him to get good grades and excel in school. He recalled an incident where he was pushed into a tub of water when he wasn't able to solve a math equation. He was also punished in strange ways, such as having to eat off the floor. I was also told to pick up rice on the floor and eat it, and I tried so hard to do that. A neighbor described an incident of Kato being punished by his parents, who made him stand outside for hours in the deep cold during winter. After high school, Kato failed his entrance exams to university and was forced to give up his dream to be a car designer. His dream crushed, he enrolled to study mechanics in a community college and worked as a part-time employee at a car parts company. Earning a low wage, feeling shunned from his family, and his dream life slowly evaporating, he attempted to commit suicide in 2006 by ramming his car into a wall. Along with working at his part-time job, Kato was active online in a message board where he often felt like he was being harassed or made fun of. He also seemed defeated because his company was in plans to cut staff and he was afraid he was going to be fired, writing, "When I went to my workplace, I found my work clothes were missing. Does it mean I should quit my job? I guess the company is happy about getting rid of me." He also constantly complained of having no friends, no girlfriend, and being alone. These are some of his posts, including things like, "I don't have a single friend and I won't in the future. I'll be ignored because I'm ugly. If I had a girlfriend, I wouldn't have just left my job or be addicted to my cell phone. A man with hope could never understand this. I'm lower than trash because at least the trash gets recycled." People who knew him described him as a typical Akihabara type, a cartoonist of reasonable talent who would lose himself for hours in cyberspace. When he went to karaoke, he would select the theme tunes of TV animations. When it came to women, he would declare that he was only interested in two-dimensional girlfriends. It seems his fear of losing his job, his debt, his lack of success in career, relationships, and socialization began a downward spiral he couldn't cope with. Before driving his rented truck to Akihabara, Kato documented his morning online to explain his motivations and possibly in hopes that someone would try to stop him. Unfortunately, no one did. Here is a timeline of his messages of that morning. 5:21. Sleepy. Will drive into the crowd, and if the car becomes useless, I will use a knife. Goodbye, everyone. 5:34. I can't get over this headache. 5:35. Rain is forecast. That's bad. 6:02. I'm used to playing the role of a good man. Everybody is so easily deceived. 6:03. Am I incapable of having friends? 6:10. It seems the road I plan to take is blocked. After all, everything is against me. 6:31. The time has come. Let's go. 6:39. It seems I'll be battling against my headache. 6:49. Against rain. 6:50. Against time. 7:30. What a dreadful rain, even though I prepared everything perfectly. 7:47. Even though the scale is small, I'll do what I decided to in the rain. 9:48. Into Kanagawa and having a rest. Things are going well at the moment. 10:53. Awful jam. Will I be in time? 11:07. Shibuya. It's awful. 11:45. Reached Akihabara. It's the day of pedestrians' paradise, isn't it? Just minutes left now. On Sunday, June 8th, 2008, mid-afternoon, people filled the streets of the popular shopping district of Akihabara. The popular street, Chuodori, was bustling with people both on the sidewalk and street itself. At 12:33 p.m., a connecting street that was still open for traffic held a white truck that was rented by KATO, barreling down towards the intersection and running a red light. It zigzagged as it aimed to hit as many people as possible, while pedestrians and shoppers had no idea what was to come next. As the truck ran through the red light and into shocked pedestrians, 5 people were hit by the truck. Of those 5, 2 ended up dying from their injuries. When the people were hit by the truck, many bystanders stopped to help those injured. A witness told News, "At first it looked like there had been a traffic accident. Then a man got out of the vehicle and began to brandish a knife." A store owner close to the accident also noted, "People came rushing into the shop, yelling at us to call an ambulance. I went outside to see what was happening. There were people running in all directions, and then I saw the attacker. He wasn't running, just walking in a really strange way." After hitting people and stopping the truck, dressed in an off-white suit and black t-shirt, KATO emerged from his vehicle with a dagger and started slashing people. He was screaming as he stabbed people at random, a witness told NHK. KATO later told police, "I'm tired of life. I came to Akihabara to kill people. It didn't matter who they were, I came alone." From the initial hitting of pedestrians at 12:33 and for the next 2 minutes, KATO would go from random person to person stabbing and slashing anyone he came upon. In total, he stabbed 12 people, of whom 4 died. Luckily, an officer was on site while the car accident and stabbings were taking place and confronted KATO. The Guardian reported the officer struck KATO with his baton but failed to subdue him. KATO only dropped his weapon when the officer drew his pistol and threatened to shoot him. A person in the crowd who arrived just after the stabbings explained the chaos that was unfolding. "I could see carnage, bodies everywhere. Some were conscious, some were not, lying by the side of the road and on the road." A police officer who saw him stabbing Omen arrested him for attempted murder and he was taken into custody. He was later charged for running down 5 pedestrians in a vehicle-free zone, causing injury and death to 3. 4 murders using a dagger, as well as stabbing and injuring 8 others. The massacre that took place at the intersection in Akihabara took the lives of 7 people, ranging in ages from 19 to 74, and included 6 men and 1 woman. 5 victims died at the scene. 2 later passed away from their injuries in the hospital. KATO told police that he was mentally ill and prosecutors planned mental examinations to decide if he could be held accountable for the crimes he committed. He admitted in court his reasons for committing the crimes. "There are 3 reasons. 1 is my own thinking. The 2 others are harassment against me on the bulletin board and my way of life, which was deeply dependent on the board." Japanese media reported that KATO told police he went to Akihabara the day before the rampage to plan his assault, and that he visited Akihabara to sell his home computer to raise money to rent the truck. NHK also reported KATO bought a knife at a camping and outdoor supply shop 2 days before the rampage. Surveillance video shows him laughing with the shopkeeper and making stabbing motions with his hands. On March 24, 2011, KATO was sentenced to death by the Tokyo District Court after it found him guilty for the attack. The Tokyo High Court upheld the death penalty on appeal in 2012, and the Supreme Court also upheld the death penalty in 2015. It seems that though he is remorseful and does claim the past traumas were part of his motivations, he takes full responsibility and doesn't blame his parents or others for his actions. And though justice seems to be served as KATO is still set to be executed, the lives he took cannot be replaced and the people he hurt will always remember. Bringing light to this crime also brings light to the problems that society holds that ignore the weak, bring down the poor, and sometimes force people to extremes they would otherwise not go. Would KATO have committed the crimes if he hadn't been pressured by his parents, disposed of by his company, bullied by online members, or overlooked by friends? Would he have more self-esteem and healthy relationships if he had spent less time on those message boards and more time socializing with men and women in person? No one really knows what motivates people to take someone else's life, especially in crimes like this where innocent people are randomly murdered. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up and share. You can also subscribe to see more videos about Japan as well as more stories of true crime.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. We've known each other many years, but this is the first time he ever came to me for counsel, for help. Mazzini will move against you first. He'll set up a meeting with someone that you absolutely trust.